home to Malaysia's oldest newspaper, owner of the most watched TV stations, largest billboard advertising network, multiple radio stations, and a digital platform. Yet its share price dropped 80% in the past 10 years. Hi, I'm Frankie. Welcome back to my fuck show. I want to talk about Media Prima, Malaysia's largest integrated media group that has not been that great. Year to date, its share price seems to see signs of recovery, up 56% to be exact. What happened there? And would the group continue its share price uptrend in the next 10 years? To many people, media means entertainment, a way to distress by just watching the TV or listening to the radio. It is also one of the fastest ways to get information across to everyone in the country because the media is the way to get updated news. With that in mind, and also learning from history on how powerful leaders control the media to make the people support their leadership and believe in their ideologies, you know where this is going. And yes, UMNO, through its investment vehicles Ultima Inc. and Gabungan Kasturi, had been Media Prima's top 5 shareholders for obvious reasons. It was an investment anyways, which means the party will benefit from dividend payout and capital gains on top of their agenda. So, why not? You probably heard the saying that the government should never interfere with business. They say that because there's a terrible conflict of interest between policymakers and businessmen. You see, on one hand, the government's job is to ensure the welfare of its people, while businesses' main objective is the total opposite, to maximize profit. So, when a political party becomes a major shareholder in Media Prima, does it plan to contribute to the welfare of the people by giving them free TV content forever? Or does it plan to make the most money out of the rakyat? Sounds like a complicated debate, but actually, no need to think so hard. You were in the core of the real-life dilemma. Recall the days we turned on the TV? Apart from prime-time news program at 8 o'clock, the TV shows were mostly there for the sake of not showing a blank screen. I don't think there is enough research done to understand what the people really wanted to watch. If nobody was watching our own national TV channels, how are they going to make money? Oh, that was the past. Today, UMNO doesn't own Media Prima anymore. Yes! Freedom of the press, freedom for the media. Well, depending on how you see it. It is true that UMNO is not a shareholder of Media Prima anymore, but they sold their stake to this guy. He now owns a third of the group, making him the tycoon of the media giant in Malaysia. On top of that, with some shuffling here and there, the second largest shareholder with a 20% stake is Jack Capital, a fund in which former second finance minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani is a director. So did the government actually exited the media business, or did it increase its stake even more over the years? It is a tough question, but at least in theory, UMNO, the political party, is definitely out of the picture, which means there shouldn't be any more conflict of interest. Syed Mokhtar and Johari are both very good businessmen, and no matter what they do, they have the Midas touch to turn any business into a money printing machine for themselves. With that simple shareholding analysis, it does make sense that the management could now be more driven by profit, and maybe that's why share price is on the rise of late. If that's true, then how do we explain the recent disposal of shares by one of Media Prima's largest foreign shareholders? It is highly unlikely that the foreign investors is as familiar with the local political scene as we are. Therefore, it is safe to assume that their disposal is purely based on fundamental analysis of the company. So what went wrong, and is Media Prima really worth investing at the current time? Media Prima has 7 business segments in total. In FY19, it registered a net loss of a whopping 177.9 million ringgit versus a net profit of 58.6 million a year before. After that, it was a year of staying at home, watching the government bergerak ke sana ke sini because COVID-19 virus hit the streets and we were forced to stay at home. The MCOs caused the economy to slow down tremendously, and as a result of that, businesses cut their advertising and marketing expenses in order to conserve cash to sail through this difficult time. Needless to say, it was another year of red for Media Prima, incurring a loss of 18.4 million ringgit in FY20. Finally, the latest FY21 report card was a positive one in many years, with a net profit of 51.6 million ringgit. It is easy to blame the pandemic for its loss of business in the past, but honestly speaking, Media Prima was already losing its competitive advantage of being the largest media player in the country when businesses started to move their advertising budgets to digital media such as Facebook and Google. Moreover, it became a perfect storm when over-the-top platforms like Netflix and Disney Plus pulled most of the Malaysian viewers away from our national TV, partly because our local content, particularly TV shows, does not look engaging and exciting as imported stuff. Seriously, it tried. In order to win viewers back from Netflix, Perempuan Itu was the bet. Unfortunately, everything is sensitive in Malaysia. So sorry lah. Since it can't be shown on national TV, maybe sell Perempuan Itu to Netflix and help them grow even more viewership than TV3 lor. That incident was the trigger for me to think that Media Prima's growth will be limited no matter how hard it tries. Maybe that was also the trigger for foreign investors as well. Just saying. I don't know why they sold their stake in Media Prima. Apart from making more content that suits the audience, to make the business more efficient, Media Prima set up a dedicated segment to offer one-stop advertising solution to its clients. This one, quite impressive. With one flat rate, clients are able to place their advertisements across TV, radio, billboard, and the digital space in Malay, English, Mandarin, and Tamil. Huiyo! That strategy indeed helped to bring Media Prima's number back to the black. But again, if nobody is watching our national TV channels, an efficient marketing segment can only do that much to push the group's profitability. One way to ensure the survival of the group is through merger and acquisition, to loop in as many media outfits as it could, so that no matter what forms of media content we consume, they belong to Media Prima Group. That strategy is very much a part of its DNA today for growth. For example, at this moment, Media Prima does not have a dedicated segment specifically catering to finance and investment. Perhaps it could consider acquiring this channel, or Mr. Money TV for the matter, to grow viewership who are interested to learn about money. From there, it could attract financial institutions to place ads on our channels to boost revenue and profitability. As at December 2021, Media Prima has a net cash position of 188 million ringgit. So the M&A card is definitely on the table should strategic business opportunities emerge for the group. Speaking of M&A activities, the last major exercise that Media Prima undertook was the acquisition of Revia Holdings in 2017. It helped the group grow its digital platform audience reach to 14.7 million, making it the largest Malaysian digital media company. This segment continued to drive impressive growth over the past 4 years, where Revia's profit contribution increased 10% in the latest financial year. Bluntly speaking, Media Prima was buying viewership with the strong cash position it has in its coffer. It is a quick fix for the problem, but again, back to the original question. If it cannot produce content that people want to consume, the viewers will eventually look for other alternatives again. To produce good content, it's all about the people. Here, since 2015, Media Prima undertook a series of rationalization exercises that included cutting almost half of its workforce in a span of 5 years. Today, the group has around 2,300 employees after losing close to 2,000 colleagues. As we speak, Media Prima is still finding an angle to position the group in the market to optimize the advertising revenue and create good content as an integrated one-stop service provider. The creation of Media Prima Omnia that we talked about earlier has no doubt started bearing fruits. Despite a tough operating environment for media companies, Media Prima's revenue increased 8% year-on-year to 1.1 billion ringgit, backed by stronger advertising revenue supported by Omnia. From here, proof to investors that it can create engaging content, and that's when we can really unleash this crouching tiger to show its true potential. That's all we have for today. #fuck.